We are keeping it real today. We're drinking water, and this is one of those days in real estate that I absolutely love because I have been sitting in my office like digging in, like really, as you can see, it's a real workspace. And I'm crooked again. I'm still getting that right. And today, am I coming out a little late? Just a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. 7:03. Today I want to talk to you about capital gains, and it's something that it's kind of a nasty word. Capital gains. Why do we even have capital gains? That just doesn't seem fair. If I'm doing something right, and I'm making money, why do you try and take it? Why are you trying to take my money when I'm gaining something? So we try to avoid capital gains. We try to do everything we can in our structure with our CPA and our tax people to not have capital gains. In full disclosure, Joannie Bates with Keller Williams Signature Partners. I live in Cobb County. I service all the Atlanta area, and I am not a CPA. I am not a tax person. I am a real estate investor and a realtor who happens to be a geek about all things numbers and investments and secrets. I like good secrets that my people can benefit from. So I want to talk today about capital gains secrets that if you are an investor, if you have investments, or if you're thinking about it, I need you to listen. I need you to get real clear about what we're talking about. You need to have a plan in the beginning so that when you get to the end, your exit plan, that everything is seamless. Because that's what we're talking about here. When we're investors, you're going to have to pay. When the day that you get rid of all your investment properties, you are going to have to pay capital gains in some form. The idea is to bring that number down, right? You want to pay the least amount of capital gains taxes. Okay? So that's what we are going to talk about today. And again, I have been deep in real estate land today. None of the glam is happening because that is usually for the what I call front of the house. Today has been 100% back of the house, making sure my deals are closing and that my investors are happy. And there's some really interesting things going on right now. But it's all going to be good. It's all going to be good. So we're talking about capital gains. So let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, so this week, it's real important that you know that we're talking about capital gains. Next week, we're going to have a special guest, and you're going to want to be here next week, okay? So we're talking about capital gains. Yeah, okay. All right, so capital gains are something you want to avoid, right? If you are, ever since 1997, okay? Some of y'all were born then. 1997, federal law said under capital gains, an individual if on your primary residence, we got our primary residence. If you make $250,000, you can keep it. No capital gains. That's for an individual. Married, primary residence. This is married. This is individual. If you make $500,000 as a couple, you can keep it. Primary residence, no capital gains. That's awesome. Single, times two, 500. All right. So most people do not have to worry about capital gains when it comes to their primary residence. It's really not a thing. You could be in that situation, but most of the time your capital gains are not going to be a problem when it comes to your primary residence. When things get sticky and where people don't understand that you need to work backwards when you're an investor, when you start investing, I want you to start with your exit plan in mind. If your exit plan is to use your investment properties for your retirement, then know what that number needs to be at that tax bracket then, so that you can work towards it and then work backwards. I'm going to need some shout outs that you all understood what I just said. You need to work backwards, okay? Kind of like what I always use that example is when you're planning a trip, planning a Disney trip, and you got 5 kids. I got 4, but I was adding 1 because there's a husband, so we just say 5, okay? You got 5 kids and you're going to Disney. What do? You say, okay, here's today, right? I'm going to be with the mouse in the, I'm going to be with the mouse over at Disney over here. You know what this date is, and you start saying, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do here? What do I need to do here? And what do I need to be doing today? And each one of these happen so that you can get to Disney with your people, right? It's no different than when you're planning for your retirement and you're planning for your investments. Have your goal in mind and work this way, not this way, work backwards. You will have a clear, and if you're not doing that in your life in general, start working backwards and fill in. You will have a much better trajectory and you will reach your goal faster than being linear this way, because guess what? This goal is going to keep moving and keep moving. And you don't want your goals to keep moving. You want to obtain your goals. You want to achieve your goal. You want to celebrate, and you want to move on to the next one. You don't need goals to keep moving on you, right? I'm starting to get to church. I'm starting to get preaching. I feel it. It's been that kind of day, little preachy day. Okay, so now for all my investor people, this is a name I want you to know. D-I-A-N. Cook. C-O-O-K. All right? That's important. Write it down. It's an important name. Got it? Okay. Yep. Sweet girl, sweet friend. Love her. 1031 exchange. Okay, 1031 exchange. We've talked about this. You know I love it. I've got it on t-shirts. A 1031 exchange is something that is not as big a secret, but to some people it is, and you need to know what it is. Okay, so Diane Cook and a 1031 exchange. Diane is here next week. Diane is this is what she does every day. She's a 1031 exchange broker. And if you are ever in real estate and you are going to be in a situation where things might get a little sketch, it's in 1031 exchanges, because you need to make sure the company that you're using is reputable. And that's where Diane comes in. All right, so we are going to break down a 1031 exchange. And the goal of it is to avoid capital gains in an investment. With me? Okay. So we're going to use my situations. All right. I have a townhouse. All right. I have a townhouse. It's super cute. Yeah, I'm not a really good drawer. There's my townhouse. All right. A big thing about exchanges, 1031 exchanges, it has to do with intention. Intention. My intention when I bought this, what is this? This is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, all right? I bought a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath with the intention of renting it and making it cash flow. So this is the cash flow, and I'm renting it. I do not, nor have I ever lived in it, okay? Investment property. Doing really good. I'm enjoying it. It's super fun. Let's say I've got this at UGA. I got my happy kid in there. My kid's in there having a good time at UGA, and my kid's gonna graduate. Now all these rooms are filled with his happy friends, and all these happy friends are paying the mortgage. I'm happy. They're happy. Let's say I bought it for $190. I kept it for 4 or 5 years, depending on how long it took for my kid to get through. In this market, it's gone up. Let's say it's gone up to $290. So what did I make? I made $100,000 on this house, and my kid lived there for free. Right. But I don't need it anymore. I don't need to go to UGA. I don't need to go to Athens. I got this house sitting there. Yeah, I could take my kid out and put another happy tale in there. But I don't really want to do that, because the sweet thing over here just got into Auburn. I gotta get used to War Eagle, right? All right, so sweet thing over here just got into Auburn. Well, I really want to do the same thing. I mean, why wouldn't I just rinse and repeat? Why wouldn't I take my UGA model and go do it in Auburn? Well, I do. I'm going to do that. All right, so let's look at Auburn. And I want to do it again. I want to get something that's at least a 3, 2.5. At least a 3, 2.5. I want to put her happy tail in here, and then I want her to have friends in the other. Same business model here. So these friends are going to pay the mortgage. That's what I want to happen. But again, I'm working backwards, just like we talked about Disney. So I know that I have this currently. I want this. How do I do it without getting this, knowing I just made $100,000 on this one? Okay, you with me? How do I do that? The way I do that is I have a really, really super good trusted real estate agent. And if you live in a different part of the state, you still call me because I have a whole group of really, really good trusted real estate agents. And I can still sit at the helm and watch what's happening so that your process doesn't fall apart. Because a lot of times the reason that a 1031 exchange to avoid capital gains on investment properties falls apart is because no one's watching the timeline at the bottom. Okay? Now what's the worst thing that's going to happen if your timeline gets messed up? You're going to pay capital gains on that $100,000 that you made over here. I don't really want to do that. So I'm real good at my timeline. But that is the worst thing that will happen. So don't get me wrong. It's not crazy. Okay. So I have done my homework. I know what's going to happen. I have my real estate agent here, which is me. I have my real estate agent here in Auburn. Obviously, it's a different state. If I was licensed in both states, I could do both deals, but I'm not. I'm not that crazy. But I have an agent here who also understands a 1031 exchange. All right. Now, this house right here is called my subject property. The UGA house is my subject property, okay? Now, I want a house in Auburn. This is what you have to do. We're going to work with our timeline again. I need a bigger eraser. I know I got that someplace around here. Your timeline is the most important thing on a 1031 exchange to avoid capital gains. And we work backwards, all right? Just like going to Disney, you work backwards. In order for me to get to Auburn without paying capital gains, this is an important number, 180 days. Wow. I would not be a great teacher because I can't write on a board very well. You have 180 days from the time that this subject property closes to close on Auburn. Okay? So we're working backwards. What do I need to have done in 180 days? Day 1 is when the subject property closes, okay? So UGA closes. Yay! Made $100,000. All right? What happens? I close here and I make money. When I'm at closing, real important, when I'm at closing, I'm not getting a check. Do not get a check. If someone tries to hand you a check, be like, there's a problem, I have a 1031. Do not accept that check. Because that money is going to go up to purgatory land and sit here. It's going to go into escrow. You are going to leave without any money. All right? But it's going into escrow with the 1031 exchange. Now, what do I need to do? Well, I've already done my homework because I'm smart, and I've got a good agent who already told me we're not jumping into this until we've already identified at least 5 properties in Auburn that we are ready, we would buy today. Now, are those 5 properties going to be available to us in 180 days? No, but at least you know what you want and how you're going to get it. So day 1, UGA closes. I need to identify my 1031 property within 45 days of closing, okay? I have 45 days to identify a subject property. Now, what I tell my people is I want at least 5. I want 5 subject properties. Ideally, you end up with 3. So you put in your offers, you do all your things, and then this property has to close in Auburn. Okay, now here's the important part. Your proceeds from here, 100% need to go into here. You can't pull out any of it. If you touch it, then the amount that you touch, you're going to get capital gains on. But why do I want to touch it? I know what I'm going to do. I'm taking this happy tail who's going to go launch and this happy tail who's going to go to school. And she's going to get the same opportunities that he had in Auburn, in a townhouse, with friends. It's being paid off. Rinse and repeat. I've got 4 kids, right? I've done this now. Sarah Grace is my 4th one. You keep going. But here's the beautiful part. When I started this, my first one was a much smaller one that I bought for something like $120. That was my very first initial investment at $120. Did I pay cash? No. I financed it. So how much did I have to put into that? About $20,000. It was a lot. I never had to do it again though, right? That $20,000 transferred here, transferred to another one, and it's transferring to here. And what did I make on this one? A lot. But it went into this one, and it went into this one. And then this is a whole nother video, but once you're in these, you can do a cash out refi. Okay? Now I'm looking at this whiteboard right now and I'm thinking, wow, I hope you all followed that. It's kind of a mess. But today's going to be a little bit short because I do need to make sure that my closings happen this week. And we've got some stuff going on, so I want to get back to it. But next week, Diane Cook, she's a broker for 1031 exchanges. And this is critical. You don't have to use my person, Diane. I mean, you should because she's amazing. But if you do not have a company who's going to help you manage your timeline, then you will not do a 1031 exchange. And they don't cost much. I think they're like $800. Like about $800 per transaction. Compared to all your moving parts and what you can do, let's not forget, all this has happened because I spent $20,000 10 years ago. And it just keeps going, all right? Call me, text me. If you are remotely interested in this and if you're a little confused and you're thinking, what? 770-363-2752. I am a geek. I have a minor in econ, and I think that I might have told you that, which is bizarre. Numbers tell a story, and it's a consistent story. It's a science. There's no ambiguity to it. Let's talk about your numbers. I have partners that are trusted dear friends. I cannot be across the table from somebody who I don't trust, and that is 110%. I trust Diane. I trust Blakely C with Certainty Homes, and we can make this happen for you. It's actually really fun. It's really fun. Okay. Again, Joni Bates, Keller Williams, 770-363-2752. Talking today about capital gains. Talking today about 1031 exchanges. And you need to be here next week because Diane's going to be here and she has more information. I mean, come with ready to take notes because she's fantastic. All right, guys, you be well. Bye.